Every man operates under a simple, logical assumption. If you want something, you must pursue it. If you want a promotion, you focus on it relentlessly. If you want to build a stronger body, you attack the weights with singular dedication. This logic serves us well in almost every area of life. So, we apply the same principle to the world of attraction. We find a woman we desire, and we focus our energy, our attention, and our intent directly upon her. We pursue, and in doing so, we unwittingly sign the death warrant for the very attraction we hope to create. This is a great, frustrating paradox that has confounded men for centuries. The direct, logical path of pursuit often leads to the opposite of your desired result. It leads to neediness, to a loss of respect, and to the dreaded friend zone. Meanwhile, you may have noticed that the men who seem to have the most effortless success with women are often the ones who seem to care the least. What if this is an accident? What if this is a fundamental law of human dynamics? A secret understood by the most powerful and centered men in history. The Stoics, masters of the human psyche, knew this truth. They understood that genuine, powerful, masculine attraction is not a result of direct pursuit, but a natural byproduct of a very specific and widely misunderstood form of indifference. Today, we are going to unpack the Stoic paradox of attraction. This is not about learning to be a cold, aloof jerk. That is a boy's caricature of strength. This is about cultivating a profound inner world so complete and so compelling that your lack of neediness becomes your most magnetic trait. We will break down the 3 pillars that make this paradox work, including the third and most crucial pillar that even men who understand the basics get disastrously wrong. Master this, and you'll stop being the chaser and start being the one who is chosen. Before we can build the solution, we must first perform a ruthless diagnosis of the problem. Why does a logical act of pursuit so often fail? The answer lies in the message it sends. A man who relentlessly pursues a woman is communicating, on a subconscious level, a series of devastating truths about himself. He is communicating that his inner world is incomplete. He is signaling that she possesses something, validation, happiness, a sense of worth, that he lacks and needs to acquire from her. This immediately places her in a position of higher value, and him in the position of a supplicant. It is a dynamic of a customer begging a shopkeeper, not of an equal engaging with an equal. He is also communicating that his time and attention are not scarce resources. By being constantly available and overly eager, he signals that his own life, his own mission, is not a powerful force that commands his focus. He is a ship waiting in the harbor for her to give him a destination, rather than a captain on his own purposeful voyage. Think of it like trying to catch a cat. If you see a cat and immediately run towards it with your arms outstretched, what does it do? It flees. Your direct, needy pursuit is perceived as a threat. But if you sit down, open a book, and become absorbed in your own world, what often happens? The cat, its curiosity piqued by your self-contained energy, will eventually come to you. You did not chase, you attracted. This is the fundamental principle. This flawed logic of direct pursuit is the default programming for 99% of men. But by the end of this journey, you will be in the 1%. And it starts by understanding the first pillar of this paradox, which is a foundation of all true masculine power. The first pillar is the gravity of a self-contained world. Your indifference to a specific woman is not born from a lack of interest in women. It is born from a genuine and overwhelming interest in your own life. The Stoics called this a man's telos, his purpose. The foundation of the Stoic paradox is this. You must build a life that is so meaningful and engaging to you that the outcome of any single romantic interaction becomes a secondary concern. You must become a sun, not a planet. A planet is a cold, dead rock whose only light is a reflection of the sun it orbits. A man who makes a woman the center of his life is a planet. He orbits her, his moods and his happiness reflecting her light. But a sun generates its own heat, its own light, its own energy from its core. A sun has a powerful gravitational field. It doesn't chase planets. It pulls them into its orbit through the sheer force of its own existence. Your mission, your purpose, is the nuclear furnace at your core. It is the engine of your own self-contained world. This means consciously choosing to dedicate the majority of your best energy, your focus, your discipline, your passion, to building your empire. And your empire can be anything. Your business, your career, your physical fitness, your mastery of a skill, your creation of art. It is the grand project of your own becoming. A man who is genuinely consumed by his mission does not have the time or the mental bandwidth to obsess over a text message. He does not have the emotional energy to be devastated by a single rejection. His life is already a thrilling and deeply validating adventure. A woman's participation is a welcome and wonderful addition to that adventure, but it is not the adventure itself. This first pillar alone, the profound shift from being a pursuer to becoming the gravitational center of your own universe, is the key that unlocks the entire puzzle. It is the work that separates the boys from the men. And if you are committed to building that universe of yourself, the single best way to support this mission is to subscribe to the channel right now. We are a community of men dedicated to this exact work of self-mastery. By subscribing, you're not just watching videos. You're making a conscious decision to start building a life of purpose. Don't wait until the end. Hit the button now, and let's continue the work. With the foundation of your own world established, we now come to the second pillar, which governs your emotional state within that world. This is the power of a preferred outcome. This pillar addresses the crucial question: how can you be indifferent if you are, in fact, genuinely interested in her? The answer lies in mastering the Stoic distinction between a preference and a need. The anxious man, the chaser, operates from a place of need. He needs her to like him to feel validated. He needs a date to go well to feel happy. He needs a relationship to work out to feel secure. This neediness is the source of all his anxiety. It is the desperate hope that an external event will fix an internal problem. The Stoic man, the man who understands the paradox, learns to transmute his needs into preferences. He does his work. He improves himself. He approaches a woman. He absolutely prefers that she is receptive. He prefers that a connection is formed. But he does not need it for his well-being. His peace of mind, his self-worth, and his fundamental happiness are not on the negotiating table. They are non-negotiable assets that belong only to him. Think of it like a skilled investor. An investor does his research, finds a company he believes in, and makes a significant investment. He strongly prefers that the stock goes up, but he does not tie his entire emotional and financial well-being to that single stock. He has a diversified portfolio. He has other investments, other assets. His overall strategy is sound. If one stock fails, it is a disappointment, a lesson learned, but it does not bankrupt him. He remains secure. Your life is your portfolio. Your mission, your health, your friendships, your knowledge. These are your other assets. A woman is a single, wonderful, high-potential investment that you would prefer to see succeed. You put in the work. You make the investment of your time and energy, but you do not need that single stock to make you rich. You are already wealthy because of the richness of your entire portfolio. This mindset of strong preference, weak attachment, is a key to emotional freedom. It allows you to be engaged without being needy. It allows you to be bold without being reckless. It allows you to show genuine interest without communicating desperation. You can play the game with skill and intent because you are not afraid of losing any single hand. Mastering this emotional detachment is what truly separates the boys from the men. But even a man with a powerful mission and a detached emotional state can still fail miserably if he doesn't understand the third, final, and most subtle pillar of the Stoic paradox. It is the pillar that governs how you handle the greatest test of all, her attention. And we are getting to that next. We have established the first two pillars of the Stoic paradox. You have committed to building the gravity of a self-contained world, becoming the sun rather than the planet, powered by your own unshakable mission. You have also armed yourself with the power of preferred outcome, learning to act with bold intention, while releasing your emotional attachment to the results, like a master investor who trusts his overall portfolio. These two pillars alone will place you in the top echelon of men. But now we arrive at the third, final, and most subtle pillar. This is the one that separates the men who merely understand the theory from the men who master the art. It is the pillar that governs your direct interaction, your communication, and how you handle the very thing you seek. Her attention. If your mission is your foundation and your detachment is your mindset, this third pillar is your strategy in motion. The third pillar is the art of the asymmetrical investment. The untrained man, the chaser, lives by a simple, flawed rule, the rule of symmetrical investment. He believes that in order to show interest, he must perfectly mirror or even exceed the energy and attention she gives him. If she texts him, he feels an obligation to text back immediately with equal or greater enthusiasm. If she shows a burst of interest, he floods her with validation and attention, hoping to lock in the good feelings. He is playing a game of emotional tennis where he is obsessed with returning every single ball with maximum force, terrified of letting one drop. This instinct, while seemingly polite and logical, is fatal to attraction. It eliminates all tension, all mystery, and all sense of challenge. It communicates that his attention is cheap and his time is not occupied by a powerful purpose. The Stoic man, the one who embodies a paradox, understands that in the delicate dance of building attraction, the investment must be asymmetrical. This does not mean playing games. It does not mean being rude or ignoring her. It is far more profound. It means that your primary investment portfolio is and always will be your own mission, the cultivation of your own garden. Her attention, her validation, and her interest are like welcome and pleasant dividends from a single stock. The amateur investor would take those dividends and immediately pour them all back into the same stock, becoming over-leveraged and dependent. The wise, Stoic investor, the man practicing asymmetrical investment, does something different. He receives a dividend of her attention with grace and appreciation, but he reinvests the bulk of that energy and focus back into his entire portfolio. He reinvests it into his mission, his health, and his own growth. Let's make this practical. She sends you an engaging, enthusiastic text in the middle of your workday. The symmetrical investor, the chaser, immediately drops everything. His heart races. He stops his work and spends the next 30 minutes crafting the perfect, witty reply. He has matched her investment and, in doing so, has demonstrated that a notification from her is powerful enough to derail his entire focus. The asymmetrical investor, the Stoic, sees the text. He feels a pleasant warmth, a preferred outcome, but his primary investment is his work. He finishes his task. He waits until a natural break in his own schedule, a time he has allocated for such things. Then he responds, not with frantic energy, but with a calm, centered presence. His reply is warm and engaging, but it comes from his time frame, from his reality. The message he sends is not in the words, but in the timing. I am happy to hear from you, but my world does not stop turning when you call. I am on my own purposeful path. When she gives you a compliment, the symmetrical man gushes. He gets overly excited, validating her for validating him. The asymmetrical man accepts it with calm, genuine appreciation. Thank you. That's kind of you to say. And then he continues as before. He is the mountain that appreciates a sunny day, but he is not fundamentally changed by it. He demonstrates that his emotional state is not for sale, even for the currency of her praise. This asymmetrical investment is the ultimate demonstration of a self-contained world. It is the living proof of pillar number 1 and pillar number 2. It creates a powerful sense of mystery and respect. She begins to realize that his attention is a valuable commodity, and she becomes more invested in earning it. You are not chasing the cat. You are so engrossed in your book that the cat cannot help but be intrigued by the world you inhabit. This brings us to a crucial question that many men have. Does this paradox, this indifference, and once you are in a committed relationship? The answer is both yes and no. The principles do not disappear. They evolve into a higher form. The Stoic paradox is not a tactic to be abandoned once a conquest is made. It is an operating system for a life of freedom and strength. In a committed relationship, the pillars transform. Your self-contained world does not vanish. It becomes a powerful foundation that makes the relationship stable. You do not abandon your mission. Your purpose remains your sun. The relationship becomes a beautiful twin planet, orbiting that sun alongside you. Your continued dedication to your own growth is what keeps you from becoming a boring, codependent partner. It is what ensures you're always bringing a vibrant, dynamic energy into the relationship. You are still the gardener, and you must still tend to your own garden first, for that is the only way you will have any fruit to share. Your detached action evolves into a profound form of trust. The indifference is no longer about the outcome of whether she likes you, but about the outcome of daily interactions. You remain the stable mountain. You are a deeply loving and invested partner, but you are detached from the need to control her feelings or her choices. You give her the ultimate gift, the freedom to be herself. Your love is not a cage built of your own insecurities. It is an open field where she can thrive, and your asymmetrical investment transforms into a healthy sense of self. You invest deeply in a relationship, but you never abandon the investment in yourself. You maintain your friendships, your hobbies, and your solitude. You understand that the health of the we is dependent on the health of the two I's. You do not merge into a single, amorphous blob of codependency. You remain two sovereign nations in a powerful, voluntary alliance. This Stoic framework allows you to love more deeply and more freely than the man who is constantly grasping. The man who is not afraid of loss is the only man who can truly be present. The man who does not need his partner is the only man who can truly choose her every single day. So we conclude our journey into the heart of this great paradox. The path to attracting and keeping the respect and desire of a high-value woman is not through more effort directed at her, but through more effort directed at yourself. It is not about chasing, but about building. It is not about needing her, but about becoming a man who is worthy of being needed, yet needs nothing. It is about trading the frantic, exhausting energy of the hunter for quiet, profound, and powerful dignity of the gardener. It is about becoming the sun, the investor, the mountain. It is about realizing that your inner world is the only thing you can truly command, and that by becoming the absolute master of that domain, you create a gravitational force that naturally pulls the best things in life towards you. This is not a trick. This is a truth. The world is starved of men who have a deep, unshakable core. The path is not easy. It requires discipline. It requires you to choose your long-term growth over your short-term emotional gratification. It requires you to be the alchemist of your own soul, turning the lead of your own neediness into the gold of your self-possession. This is the work. It is the great work of a man's life, and it is a journey you do not have to take alone. If this philosophy, this counterintuitive truth, has resonated with you, then make a commitment to it. The first step is to join the community of men who are on the same path. Subscribe to this channel. This is our forge, our laboratory, our training ground. Every video is a tool to help you build your own magnificent world. Make the choice to stop chasing the cat. Sit down, open your book, and begin the great work of becoming a man so absorbed in his own purpose that the world cannot help but turn its head and wonder what secrets you have found.